Yo, what's up, you guys? Welcome to another episode of the Divij Vaswani podcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you're here, you've either been following me or you just found this channel from doing some research and coming across this new show called F-Boy Island, which I've been talking about nonstop in all of my episodes. And the reason is because it's airing in less than 48 hours. This video is coming out July 29th, actually probably the day that the episodes are dropping. So thank you for being here. I appreciate your guys' support and all that shit. So today, man, I've been getting a lot of requests from the viewers about doing a video around like business and like how do you scale a company. And I think people, a lot of the people that watch my channel, they saw that video that I posted about a week ago about how I went from being broke to being a millionaire and kind of that process of the 10 years that it took to get to that point by my age now at 24. So I want to kind of give you guys some tips on things that you guys can do. And, all my entrepreneurs out there that are watching this, like some of the different aspects of the business that I think you guys should really focus on early on and really have set in stone. And also like the different elements of your business that I think need to be streamlined and like some of the processes and just parts of the business that you need to like really just have fully defined. And I'm going to use my business, Division Media, shout out to the team, divisionmedia.co, to give you guys kind of like some insight into how we've done it. So for you guys who don't know who I am or what I do, I run a company called Division Media, media buying agency, influencer marketing for some of the largest brands in the world. Some of the clients that we work with are Dr. Squatch, Manscaped, Dollar Shave Club, Gymshark, Current, Hybe, yada, yada. Now, that's the brand side. What we do basically is connecting those brands with talent. So we work with influencers, celebrities, athletes, people like Mike Malak, Logan Paul, Jake Paul, the Ace family, a lot of these larger macro creators. And what we're doing is we're brokering these partnerships between the brands and the talent and basically, giving the brands attention by, getting them to advertise on the creators' channels and obviously getting the creators paid. And it's sort of a beautiful, like symbiotic relationship, right? And to give you guys some context, if you didn't see the story video that I did last week, kind of how I started was from scratch, just figured out how to get in touch with the influencers, leverage platforms like LinkedIn to get in touch with the brands, and then kind of just put it all together. Fast forward a year and a half later, now we have, I think, almost 20 employees, millions of dollars in revenue, and it's going great. But the point is how did I get there in a year and a half, and sort of what are the different aspects of my business that I think are the most important? So first off, let's start from the core of a business, right? The core of the business is the team, the people that are actually operating the business on a day-to-day. So you've got the assistants of the company, you've got the managerial people that are in the company. So the executives, whether it's the CEO, the COO, the chief operating officer, the chief marketing officer, the chief finance officer. And then you've got the people that are doing the sales, which really that's where the money and the actual bread and butter is coming from. So the way that we've structured our business is really, there's really two. The first is the managerial level. So you've got the COO, you've got the CEO, and then you've got sort of the people that are running all the finances. And then we've hired, I think, again, we're at like 20, basically 1099 contractors, good mix of W-2, and basically built this just rock star sales team. Okay. So the thing to think about when you have this team, right, is how do you get them? How do you protect yourself as a business to actually have these many 1099 contractors, especially in California where it's very sensitive. Like if you have a lot of 1099 contractors, you got to be very careful. You got to make sure you're providing all the right, resources for them. If you have W-2, you got to make sure you got the benefits and all that good stuff. So there's a lot of different elements, but the first thing is, let's say you're ready to get past that stage of being a solo entrepreneur and you really want to take it to a point where it's not just you and your time that's running the business, right? And that's the beautiful thing about where I'm at now is I can kind of take a step back and focus on a lot of these higher level conversations that I'm having, and really let the team like run the operations of the business, right? So that's kind of the first thing is figuring out what that goal is, right? So that's how I did it. Was I had a target of, I want 5 people on this team within the first 6 months, right? Now, how do you do that? There's a lot of great resources. You can use things like LinkedIn, LinkedIn job posting. You just create a job posting and literally you'll start getting applications within hours. And then all you got to do is hop on the call, have those conversations, and figuring out some sort of onboarding process where you can onboard the people onto your team, providing the training that you need to provide. And again, this is very vague and very general for really any business, but I think it's a foundation and sort of almost a roadmap that I think any entrepreneur in any business, whether you're selling a product, in e-commerce or you're providing a service, our business, our main business, Division Media, is a service, right? We're brokering these brand deals, but we also have a company called Mello. Big shout out to Mello, our sponsor for most of our videos on the podcast and the YouTube channel. And we're kind of figured out how to build companies in both the product and service space, right? So you have to hire on. Once you've got the team hired on, you obviously want to give them all the resources that they need to actually be able to operate and to be able to sell, right? So you got to make sure that they understand what they're selling, how they're selling it. And, once they do get the sale, how do you make sure that the client is happy? How do you make sure that the client comes back for additional services, right? So in our case at Divij Media, we're selling our influencer talent, right? So our main thing is, how do you get in contact with the brands? How do you convince them that what we're providing them is what they need? Because at the end of the day, everybody in the brand space needs influencers, right? That's the key way that they're getting their product out there. So really, we're selling them what they already need. It's more about, how do you show them that we understand the aspects that are important to them? So like things like conversion metrics, right? Like brands want conversion metrics that make sense. They want to be able to, if they're investing $100,000 into an influencer, they want to see a return that actually makes sense. Or if they're not wanting to see a return, but they're simply doing it for things like brand awareness, you want to make sure that you understand their metrics, and you want to convey to them that you understand those things. So the key thing is, when you're hiring and firing, because firing is one of those things that I have not mastered yet. And quite frankly, I fucking hate doing it. Like, it sucks. It sucks to tell someone that they're not, meeting your expectations and you need to part ways. But at the end of the day, it's like a relationship, right? And I think honesty is like one of those big things. So if you are in that position where you're dealing with employees that you potentially have to fire, like, you got to just be clear, and you got to always do it in a strategic way. If you guys have questions on how to fire strategically, shoot me an email and I'm happy to help. But the first thing, again, is building that team, leveraging things like LinkedIn to get that team prepped. Slack is a great thing to use on a day-to-day basis to actually keep communication kind of running. And that's kind of the team element, right? So that's kind of the first part, is who is actually running the business besides you, right? So you got the team. For us, it's the accounting, right? Having an accounting team that understands where the money's going, how the money's coming in, how much is coming in. Because if you're running the business and you're so focused on sales, you probably don't want to spend a lot of time focused on numbers and data analytics and all that stuff. So being able to outsource to an accountant is always huge. The other thing is legal. And I can't say this enough, because I've really just started to realize the importance of a legal team. I think, growing up, my dad was always like, fuck the dentist. Like, I hate the dentist. And I kind of adopted that same mentality towards attorneys. And I was like, bro, like, deals go to attorneys to die. Like, every time I have a deal that's massive, I feel like it goes to legal and it just comes back and the deal's like dead, But in the last 3 months, I've realized the importance of having a strong legal team. So you've got your team that's actually in the house, that's running the sales, or let's say you're an e-commerce business, then you got to have a team that's actually running the marketing, inventory, yada, yada, right? So you got the team, you've got your accounting, you've got your legal. Then on a higher level, you've got the partners of the business, which are the managing members of the company, right? So you've got your COO, the CEO, the CFO, yada, yada. The key thing with hiring a solid executive team is making sure that you really understand and have it in writing as to like what the responsibilities are of each person. There's a thing called an operating agreement, which your legal team can help you guys draft, and it kind of breaks down, what decisions in the business are made by who, kind of like who has the power in certain situations. And it just kind of breaks everything down so that in the event of an issue in the future, it's all kind of on paper, and you can kind of use this OA or operating agreement as sort of a reference for any issues moving forward, right? So making sure you have a strong, sort of managerial team, and sort of understanding the guidelines for the operations of or the responsibilities of those people, right? So those are some more important things. The other important thing is like processes, right? So I think the one thing that and the reason Divij Media is so successful in the space is because we've established processes for, marketing, for gaining, for attracting customers, for keeping those customers, and then for, getting referrals, and also like building and getting more business from the same clients, right? So like a good example is, we do a lot of deals with companies like Manscaped, right? And Manscaped wants influencers that have a high male demographic, have a high US demographic, because they're selling products in the States. So for us, we got to position our influencers as, these are the best 5 influencers who are going to perform for you as Manscaped, and you should book them, right? So we go through that process, we handle the campaigns. Manscaped is happy, it's going great. We then have processes, right? So we have certain steps that we take to then get Manscaped to rebook with us, or if not rebook, like, refer us other brand clients, or if they do rebook, like, how do we get their budget from 10K to now 100K, right? So you got to really map out kind of those processes in your business. And I think that's been a massive, massive part for our success, is we just understand the step-by-step, kind of like process of what is happening. So those are some of the more important kind of process aspects of a business that I think everyone in entrepreneurship needs to really understand. The other thing is like understanding kind of revenue goals. So like, you got to figure out kind of where you're trying to get your business, right? Like if you think you could do $1 million this year, like you want to map out the projections, right? So map out the projections, figure out how many people it's going to take you to get to that level. And it's just important to have a solid team. I can tell you guys, like if it were just me running the business, like I'd be fucking working 24 hours a day, but now I can work 10, 12 hours a day. And I've got a team that's also working 10 to 12 hours a day each. So I went from me working, 70 hours a week to now having 20 people working the same hours. So we now went from 20 hours a week of human power within Divij Media to now 20 times whatever the fuck that is, 20 times 70. So that's like 1,400 hours or something crazy, right? So having the team, man, it's so important. And I know this is being super vague, but I hope that this kind of helps at least one or two people out there who is starting a business, or who's already in a business but maybe doesn't know how to expand, or doesn't feel like they have all the different aspects of their company kind of nailed down. But again, just to recap, team, understanding your hiring and firing processes, your managing members of the company, your legal, your accounting, understanding the product or service, like really having that defined. And again, like understanding the projections of where you are today and where you want to go in terms of, sales, in terms of revenue, in terms of clients. Like it really doesn't matter. Just having a full grasp and full sort of like bigger picture understanding of where you're trying to take the business. Like I think that's super, super crucial. So that's really it, guys. I just wanted to throw this out there because I know a lot of people have been asking me to make a video about like how to grow a company. And I think, you just have to have those different elements kind of figured out. And once you have that, I think it'll just kind of all come together on its own. So that's it, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys go check out F-Boy Island, coming soon, July 29th. Again, I think it's going to be coming out the day that I drop this video. So literally as you guys are watching this, it's probably already out. So literally when you're done watching this, go watch F-Boy Island, HBO Max. It's going to be a crazy fucking show. Make sure you guys subscribe, smash that like button to post notifications on. Shoot me an email if you have any questions related to business or whatever. And this video is sponsored by Mellow, best melatonin on the planet. Helps you sleep like a baby. Tastes great. Lavender, grape extract. KeepMellow.com. Use code SLEEP for 20% off. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.